some fabulous and unnameable power. With relic and ritual, I've bent every effort
Okay.
towards the excavation and recovery of
We
all
are, well,
buried secrets.
listen, gang, for anybody that pops in the next minute or two, we would have been early. I meant to announce that I was delaying this stream an hour to 1 p.m. PST because I had a phone call I had to make. But hey, did I make that Twitch story? No. Did I ping my Discord about that? Also no. So to you all, yeah, maybe we're 45 minutes late. But to me, I'm 15 minutes early, and I will stand on that. What's up, Intaria? What's up, Troper? How you doing today? Tiff, it's not Magic the Gathering, but we are going to gather the magic of friendship. And you all being thrown into the plague pit after you fail me in a dungeon. Let's get into the campaign. 84 goddamn weeks we have been on this. What's up, Darkenair? I hope you are hanging in there, my friend. Dungeon, indeed, Gorilla Azul. So we do have a couple custom cards that we have to catch up on from last time. I think most of those are from Elikman. Let me go look. So we have a Crimset custom card. We have... I think we have Crimset, Eclectic Weight, or Atraxa's Chosen, White Bread, and then Elikman. So 4 different people we have custom cards for. When I see them in chat, I will pull up their custom cards. Boss, I just got off work. Do I watch the Good Time Boys podcast episode or stream? Harvahal, you watch the goddamn stream, and then you put the podcast on in your earphones before you go to sleep so that you can learn the right opinions, mine, as you drift off. At the risk of totally derailing the stream again, have you watched The Blacklist? And if so, how did you like it? Alright, fuck Darkest Dungeon. We're opening up the slideshow. Get this shit out of here. Fuck all that noise. Untitled presentation. Back to the tier list. I have watched The Blacklist. I'm not actually going to subject you to 20 minutes of this. I did watch The Blacklist. The bit got old relatively quickly, but it was a good bit for like a season. Like the bit of Raymond Reddington is a superhero who also has access to the Toon Force. Great. After I think about like a season and a half, close to the end of season 2, I got so tired of it that I stopped watching the formula. But for a while, good formula. Hey, what's up, Dark? I'm here to bring vibes of a mysterious quality. Listen.
Now they are as twisted as my own ambitions.
Sailor Goon. If it ain't the big bad mauled back at it again, just wanted to say I started playing a couple months ago, and now I'm being told to play Atraxa. What should my game plan be? Stop playing Atraxa. First and foremost, which one are you being told to play? Second, whatever you're being told to play, there's probably a more specific commander you could be playing for that strategy, and it will probably be more fulfilling than playing Atraxa. Hey, we brought a lot of food. We're the best. We do have an antiquarian. God bless sharks. Praetor's voice. Yeah, 4 color. So, alright, Sailor Goon, I'm gonna save you right now. What your friend is trying to do... No, that's very crazy. What your friend is trying to do is trick you into being identified as the threat. They have some deck that they want to play that requires people to not use any removal on them, and they want to bait you into playing something that needs to be removed or should like be hated out such that they can do whatever dumb bullshit they wanted to do. Do not fall for it. Like, they have handed you a kick me sign and asked you to put it on. And you are just too new to the game to recognize that commander for what it is. So Ron, I'm going to explore the rooms that don't have death waiting. Oh my god, bro.
Nature herself.
Oh no, we brought 5 shovels. We're good.
Malformed with misintent. A fortune waiting to be spent.
He told me I was a lover because I'm playing Vishgraz. I do have like 3 unnecessary board wipes though. I mean, board wipes aren't unnecessary, and in Abzan you have a lot of... Okay, so I think, legitimately, this person is probably butthurt because one of your new decks played... Well, I mean, not even butthurt. This person is messing with you because you have used poison counters as a thing. Vishgraz, if you want to do poison counters, is a much better option than Atraxa. Ixhel is another better option than Atraxa. And having board wipes is good. Sailor Goon, I'm gonna... Okay, the only thing I will derail stream for in the first 15 minutes is gonna be this. You should probably have more board wipes in your deck, and they should be more board wipes that are asymmetric. As a new player, it is incredibly important for you to understand board wiping is really, really good when it board wipes your opponent's things. So obviously this is not what you were doing in your Vishgraz deck, but like this is in the latest Final Fantasy Precon or the +1/+1 counters deck. Blow up everything that doesn't have counters on it. There's a ton of stuff in the 3 to 6 mana range that you can build your deck around it being a helpful board wipe rather than a board wipe that just resets everything. The things that make board wipe players annoying is when you are using board wipes to constantly reset the game state rather than using them to advance your game state. So like Austere Command, incredibly good. If you're in, whether you are in like Big Stompy or you're in like Little Weenie, you just pick whichever mana value is more applicable for you. Like the thing that will make board wipes boring if you run 5 copies of Wrath of God while you are a creature-based strategy, yeah, that's boring because you're fucking up your own game while you do it. Like it's funny to kick somebody else in the shins in Commander. It's less funny to kick somebody else in the shins and go, oh, that looks like it hurt, and then kick yourself in the shins. That sounds funny. That is a funny image. That is not a funny play pattern. So I would, yeah, Atraxa's a no-go. They're deceiving you. They're attempting to trick you. They're attempting to trick you into martyring yourself at your next Commander game, so don't do that. Hey Maul, my friend is buying the Limit Break Precon and said he was taking Buster Sword out because it didn't have evasion. I deleted his phone number. Dragoon, this is a funny bit, however, Buster Sword's not even in the Precon. So, that's one down doot, or whatever they do on Reddit for you there. But yeah, that is foolish. I think I also part of the bit. Perfect. I am going to attempt to not let Buster Sword talk prevent me from completing this dungeon. I will say, I did not realize so many people were going to think Buster Sword was so weak because it lacked evasion. I have gone from thinking this card is crazy good to now thinking this card is crazy slept on. I think most decks are criminally underrating how useful the Buster Sword will be if they ever intend to do combat damage. Like, a lot of people are talking about the Buster Sword and how it doesn't give protection and doesn't give evasion. Like, the only thing they play into is a 1/1 token deck. There's a fight in here. I didn't get the light high enough. Yeah, people are looking at it going, oh, I'm not guaranteed to get the hit effect, and presenting that as weak? When, like, having a good stat line and somebody blocking you with their creature is a good thing. Most commander decks do not have an overabundance of creatures they don't care about. Most commander decks, if they play a creature, they want to keep that creature. And if they go, oh fuck, you drawing a card and free casting something would be so good, I'm gonna block you, which I can do because you don't have evasion, that's still a win. That is a unmitigated win. Kettle, I do agree. Buster Sword, like, we're going through the phase of Buster Sword is crazy underrated because people are terrified of going to combat in Commander. And even more than being terrified of going to combat, I think people do not appreciate how often they already go to combat. My restack says Buster Sword is trash. What if we swung at anybody but you? Absolutely insane thought. But what if you did have a token player in the pod, you swung at somebody who wasn't the token player? What if you played a creature with flying? Wouldn't that be fucked up? Wouldn't that be evil? It's just... Alec, we jumped right into the shit and I was waiting for the custom card redeemers to get here before we did your custom cards. Hey, Sharks, why are we being such a fuck up? Evil, I appreciate your contribution to the bit and the shilling for Trailblazer boots. I think the Buster Sword having no evasion is near meaningless. I do think the legitimate kickback, and this also, oh no, I'm gonna have to admit the Game Nights podcast made a really good point, which is going to wreak hell on my reputation as a hater. But I think it was like Rachel and Jimmy talking about the bracket system and talking about how everybody likes to believe they're a bracket 3 player when in reality most people are bracket 2 players. And I think that also plays into people underrating the Buster Sword, because Buster Sword, I think, is crazy in bracket 2 specifically. I think it falls off significantly as you move to bracket 3, and then it's quite bad in bracket 4. Like, as combat gets less and less important, yeah, Buster Sword gets worse and worse and worse. But in bracket 2 games, where almost every situation is decided by hitting each other with varying degrees of limp noodles, Buster Sword's crazy. And I think a lot of the people sleeping on Buster Sword are people who play bracket 2 decks that they think are bracket 3. Like, I think that's a big part of the equation. Is they play bracket 2 decks that could use the Buster Sword, and they think they're playing like bracket 3 strong boy commander. And you got to get that right with God. You can't get that right with me.
A spark without kindling is a goal without hope.
Can we get Sanctuary? No. But we can heal our Antiquarian. We can pray. What can you do? Hound's Watch is great. Do we have any other healing? Not really. We'll make a trinket. That sucks. Hell yeah. Whitebread, thank you for the 2 gifted community subs. Welcome to Dog Heaven, my friend. I appreciate that generosity.
As the light gains purchase,
And Sean, I agree. Not enough people are considering combat pressure as a removal thing. Like, +3, +2. You know what radicalized me about the Buster Sword? I'm very sorry that we're derailing the stream, but I am derailing it because this equipment is fucked up. What radicalized me about the Buster Sword was imagining a 5/4 Goblin Electromancer. In an Izzet deck that typically is very bad at going to combat and typically folds to people swinging into me, having this dumb little, like, value shithead being a goddamn 5/4 trading with things that have 5 toughness, that's so fucking good. That's so good. Many of you who think you play better Magic than this guy being a 5/4 being good, you think you're better than that? You are not. You are straight up not. It's so strong. Like, that is crazy fucking good. Don't swing your commander at me. Is it a 4/4? Too fucking bad, bro. I have a Goblin Electromancer. He's got a blade and a beef. It's... Because there's the like super low example of, you know, Llanowar Elf hitting 4 power, but all the time I've spent playing Draft, it has really impressed upon me the importance of, like, power and toughness breakpoints in Commander, and 5 is a fucking huge one. Being able to deal 5 damage, you are threatening. To most creatures in the game, you are threatening, you can deal 5 damage. And so being able to turn all of these, like, utility 2/2s into things that deal 5 damage, oh! It's heinous. Anyway, back to the business. Alice, we've considered playing Darkest Dungeon modded. We haven't done it yet because this is a blind playthrough. It's my first time playing the game, so we're going to do it unmodded. Nope. Fuck you. Fuck off. This is the C team, dog. I choose life. So we might come back for a modded run later, but right now we're just trying to beat the base game with no mods, and then we're either going to move straight into Darkest Dungeon 2, or we're going to take a detour for Expedition 33, because that game came out... Oh, fuck, it's dogs, dude. Not the dogs. Not the dogs! Because everybody's talking about that game. Seems super peak. But we gotta beat this game. We gotta beat this game. Not for Final Fantasy VI. Final Fantasy VI will be there. It's been there for a long... Alright, dog v dog combat. Hell yeah. So yeah, 33 is unreal, but I want to complete our variety game arcs before we move on to new variety games. Carlos, thank you for the stats. Of the 17k creatures, about 14,500 have less than 5 toughness. Yeah, so Buster Sword Electromancer clears, what's that, like 80% of the game? Yeah, I don't give a fuck about evasion. I don't give a singular shit about whether or not my creature can evade yours. He's eating yours. Oh shit, we have a manual ad break we need to do as well, so I'm gonna hit that while we finish off these dogs. Hey, bad. You should ask Amazonian for the Final Fantasy PowerPoint quiz she made for Voxy. I need to ask Amazonian to collab any type of way, quite frankly. I need to collaborate more. Well, Mira La La La, when I talk about the Buster Sword, I think it's fucked up because I think the Buster Sword goes into every bracket 2 deck ever, independent of whether or not you are playing equipment or any type of Voltron strategy. That's why I'm so up on the Buster Sword, is I'm like, oh, this is a basically must have for every deck that hits people. Personal question, now that the Buster Sword is out, are you glad it's not in the Cloud Precon, or do you think it still should have been in? You know what? I'm filming the podcast today. I'll probably bring this up on the podcast because I think it is a more complicated question than it is on the surface. I think the downsides of it are making pushed chase cards for premium sets sucks. Feels very, very cash grabby in a set that already feels like a ridiculous cash grab. The positive side of it is as pushed chase cards go, the Buster Sword is a better iteration than previous fucked up chase cards. Like, if we look at Lord of the Rings, their chase card was the One Ring. It's like one of the best Magic cards ever made, immediately fucked up every format. The Buster Sword is bracket 2 All-Star, almost immediately falls off as you get into bracket 3, go into bracket 4. I don't think you'll ever see that shit in CEDH. That's a much better, like, fairness curve than we've seen Wizards produce for a lot of other chase cards. So I think I take more issue with the fact that they are using chase mythics to push a set than I do with it specifically not being in the precon. But that is like an issue with the basic business model of Wizards. So like, what the fuck am I saying about that? Right? Like, how the fuck am I gonna argue about, like, you shouldn't make good cards to sell sets? They're gonna. Fuck me. I do think it is a flavor fail that because they made it the Buster Sword can't go in the Cloud Precon. Like, I think that's kind of dumb. But I think they did a lot of things that sacrifice some flavor to try to maintain mechanical balance. And I would rather get like a B+ on flavor and have things mechanically be okay than get an A+ on flavor and have them be the One Ring. Like, I think the way they did the Buster Sword is better in all regards than the way they did the One Ring. So it's like, I'm not the happiest with it, but I will take it. Personal question from Jick Beta. Do you think the MTG community is accepting/encouraging enough of proxying to counteract accessibility issues of most formats being pay-gated? I think Commander is getting close, and I think the dam is breaking in Commander. I have only played for a couple years. I have seen a massive shift over just the last like 3 years on how accepting people are of proxies. I don't think they're accepting enough in 60 card formats, because in 60 card formats almost all of that is competitive play, and competitive play, because it is managed by Wizards, they have proxies banned from the fucking get-go. So in those formats, no, but Wizards is also just never going to accept proxies in their tournaments because they got to move these fucking cards. Also, Lunar787, thank you for the Prime sub for the 2nd month, my friend. Welcome back to the dog home. I appreciate those Jeffrey dollars.
A handsome reward for a task well performed.
My big complaints are that we have more or less ignored color identity in this set, and that there are 14 doubling/additional triggering effects in this set alone, which just feels lazy. I will agree on the laziness part. On the color identity thing, I sympathize with the difficulty of turning like video game characters into magic cards, because most interesting video game characters have to be red. Red is the color of proactivity, it is the color of impulsiveness, it is the color of action, and that is like every video game character everybody has liked ever. And so they did have to fuck up the color pie a little bit, because if we got a totally emotionally accurate representation of the colors that Final Fantasy characters were, it would be like a wedge. It would be like a 3-color shard, and that's it. Or we would get the set we do have, but everything has red in it. Eris, vibes are good. We are clearing this dungeon easily. Easily. And then we're going to do some custom cards.